Hi, Shayla Lanier for Liberty University History 530, Christianity in America. Talking to you today about the Orthodox Presbyterian Church. I found the story of the Orthodox Presbyterian Church very interesting. I was reading the article that we're assigned this week by D.G. Hart, When is a Fundalist a Modernist? And in it, he discusses the founder of the Orthodox Presbyterian Church, J. Gresham Machen, and he talks about his life, and his life is very interesting. And it's really interesting. He points out, I guess there was this perspective that the fundamentalists were these rural hicks who just wanted to stick to tradition, and these modernists were these urban, educated, culturally progressive people who wanted to change everything. And he makes the point that J. Gresham Machen grew up in privilege in Baltimore, and his father was one of the city's most respected attorneys, and his mother was quite the socialite. She was an active reader of Victorian poetry and also was an author too, and they point out that his parents entertained in their home people like Woodrow Wilson, Henry Van Dyke, and Sidney Lanier, and my last name is Lanier. So I got sidetracked. I always get sidetracked. And I found an article about the genealogy of Sidney Lanier, and he actually has an ancestor many generations back in common with my husband. So that was kind of cool. And they're also related to George Washington. So that was very interesting. Okay, but back to J. Gresham Machen and the Orthodox Presbyterian Church. So it's really interesting. Machen was extremely educated. He had a bachelor's degree in divinity. He had a master's degree in philosophy. He worked at Princeton Seminary for 23 years. While he was there, he wrote some books, and some of them are very influential even today. He also, in the last 7 years of his life, it says that he kept up his fight against Protestant liberalism. He established a new seminary, Westminster, a new foreign missions agency, the Independent Board for Presbyterian Foreign Missions, and a new denomination, the Orthodox Presbyterian Church. And I always think of these people pre-internet. They're so industrious. They are working hard and doing so many things, and I think that's how we should be. If we've got a breath in our lungs, let's be being purposeful and making something happen. It was really interesting. I went onto the website of the Orthodox Presbyterian Church this afternoon, and it's really interesting. They say they have a section that says Our History, and they talk about their founding in 1936, and they say they were founded in the aftermath of the fundamentalist and modernist controversy. And I thought that was a really strong word, aftermath. And under the leadership, so their founding was under the leadership of J. Gresham Machen, and they originally were the Bible Presbyterian Church, but it says that they were forced by threat of a lawsuit to change their name in 1939, and they adopted the name of Orthodox Presbyterian Church. And so I thought the language, even on their own website, is strong. They say, with the infiltration of the theological liberalism, the mainline Presbyterian Church in the USA had departed from historic Christianity, including the rejection of doctrines such as the inspiration and authority of Scripture, the virgin birth of Christ, and the substitutionary atonement. So they still feel strongly about it, and they're committed to why they separated and those same values. I found, it's so interesting, and on the Library of Congress website that we're supposed to use this week, Library of Congress Chronicling America, I found a newspaper clipping from the Evening Star. It's dated November 3rd, 1951, and it's so interesting. It talks about a particular, the Knox Orthodox Presbyterian Church in Maryland. They had started originally meeting in a basement. No, originally they met in the Washington Bible Institute. So from 1936 until 1943, they met in the Washington Bible Institute. That building was sold, and then they met in the basement of two members' homes, and then they had this building, and by 1951, they were remodeling this building to make it bigger because they had so many members and they needed more space. And I thought that was really interesting. The newspaper article says that in 1951, they now had 139 communicants and 74 covenant members. And so I went back to the church's website to clarify what that means. And Webster says a communicant is a membership of a fellowship. But the OPC says in their website that covenant members are those who participate in the sacraments, baptism, and the Lord's Supper. And they take binding membership vows, and they say it's the plague of the present age to make vows or promises and not mean them. They make them without any seriousness or a sense of responsibility. And so they talk about that the scriptures show that it pays to be a Christian, but it also costs to be one, and that church membership has great benefits but also great responsibilities. So that same founding passion that they had, that commitment to those Calvinist values, ideals, and practices, I think is very much alive today, at least according to their website. Thank you.